Powergons are a powerful tool that allow you to execute a short layout command script by attaching it to a polygon and then later using it in layout. So I thought we could take a look at setting up Powergons and using them. So I'm going to start by just drawing a box. Okay, and I want to attach a layout command script to this polygon. Well, first, it would help if I knew what layout command scripts to use and how to do it. But if I go over to the Setup tab, I see that I can add a Powergon, and it already has something in there for me, but I want to build my own. By default, it has a setup that applies a spotlight to a certain location and things like that. But let's add a null. So the first thing I'm going to do is head over to Layout so that I can figure out how to do that. If I go over to Utilities and open up the command history, okay, this allows me to see a list of everything that I'm doing in the scene. If I grab my camera and start moving it, it says the add position. I'm adding those values to the position. If I grab the light, now I'm adding the position to those. If I come over to the Items tab and add a null, and I'm going to give it a name, let's call this William, and click OK. It says add null William. If I click on it, it drops it down here, and I can copy, come over to Modeler, go to Add Powergon, paste, okay, and I'll hit OK. And let's go to Layout and clear that scene out. Clear scene. Okay. Go back to Modeler, and I'm going to save this off. And I'm just going to save this as box power 001. Okay. Let's send this over to Layout. With this object selected, actually let me change it to wireframe mode so we can see. With this object selected, I'm going to come over to Items, Add, Convert Powergons, and it adds that null, and look, the null's name is William. So it allowed me to quickly add a null just by converting it. Now, I could have added the null and named it, but what if I wanted it in a certain location and things like that? So what we'll do is we'll add to our Powergon. So I'm going to clear the scene, hop over to Modeler, and on that polygon that we had selected, I'm going to go to Add Powergon, and I'm just going to add to what I have here. So the thing to know is there's certain commands that you can use that will help you write this Powergon out. So the first thing is that you can end a certain command by doing /R. So that means, okay, we've added the null and we've named it William. What's the next command? You don't need to end the final command with /R. It's just when you're ready for a new command. So I'm going to say position. I want to position the null. Space /C. If you do /C, that says that you want to find the position of the polygon center in XYZ. So instead of having to figure out what the XYZ is for this, I can just find the center with this right here. So I'm going to click OK, save, send it over. Let's go into wireframe. And now when I convert Powergons, I've got it attached to, or I've got it centered on the center of that polygon. So not only did I create a null named William, I've positioned it at the center of the polygon that I had selected. Okay, so that could speed things up, especially if you're wanting to create a lot of nulls and place them in specific locations. Let's do one more setup that will maybe give you an idea of why you might want to do this, because attaching or placing a null to the center of that polygon might not seem like it fits in a pipeline for you. But what I'm going to do is delete this, create a new box so that we can just be starting from scratch. Okay. So I've got my box, and I'm going to create some skelegons. So I'm going to go over to the Setup tab, create skelegons, and I'm going to make a hip bone, a thigh bone, lower leg or calf bone, and then a little ankle bone. Okay, I'm going to select this point, the tip of my calf or the base of my ankle, and go to Info, and I'm going to write down these values, the XYZ values. So 0, 800, that's negative 800 and 100 millimeters. Okay, so I always have a little scratch pad when I work, but I went ahead and wrote those down, and now I know exactly where that location is. I'm going to select this skeleton, come over to Add Powergon, and I'm going to add null. Instead of William, I'm going to change this to goal, because this can be our IK goal for the leg. And I want to position it, but instead of centering it, I'm going to type in those values. So 0 space minus 0.8 and space 0.1. Okay, and now I've applied that there. I'm going to save, send this over to layout, go to wireframe. I need to make sure that I have my object selected. I'm going to go ahead and convert those skeletons. So setup, convert skeletons, and then I'm going to go over to convert powergons, and look at this. If I was setting up an IK chain, I already have my IK goal where it needs to be so that I can go ahead and set it up. Okay, there's all sorts of things that you can do. You can parent new items that you build to other items. You can get item IDs and all kind of things. So Powergons are great. I've seen Powergons used to build entire character rigs just by loading it up and clicking convert Powergons, and you can watch it build the setup. But this is just a quick look at using Powergons. You attach a Powergon to a selected polygon in Modeler under the Setup tab, Add Powergons. If you want to get rid of a Powergon, just select the polys that you want to remove Powergons from, and you can clear Powergons here. You can also, once you have your Powergons attached to the object, you just come over to Layout, and you have to make sure that you have the object selected that has the Powergons, and you just come over to Items, Add, Convert Powergons, and you're ready to go.